Hi guys, I'm Kayla Am, author of Well of Dreams, and this is my Kickstarter for Authors Crash Course Part 4. Today we are talking about reward tiers. In my opinion, this is the foundation to creating your campaign because your reward tiers are going to set the entire tone for the success of your Kickstarter. Reward tiers are one of the biggest ways that differentiates Kickstarter from donation fundraising sites like GoFundMe. So in a site like GoFundMe, people are just donating money, right, to a cause. But with Kickstarter, people are not donating anything. They are pledging money to a campaign to help fund a project, and in return, they expect some version of that product in return. Most Kickstarter campaigns will have anywhere between maybe like 6 and 12-ish reward levels. Those reward levels are going to start low, typically underneath $10. It's probably going to be an ebook or something along those lines, and then they can shoot up into hundreds of dollars. For instance, if you're taking a look at my past campaign, you can see that my lowest category or my lowest reward tier was $7, and that included the limited edition ebook and also some digital goodies. But then my top tier was $200, and that included the limited edition book with the beautiful illustrations and the sprayed edges, all of the swag, all of the bookmarks, all of the things. And so in between that, I had all of these different levels of reward tiers. And you can see that they kind of just continually go up in price, but there's not any huge jumps in price either. The biggest question with reward tiers is how do you price them, right? How do you determine how much this certain tier is going to cost in a way that you're not ripping off the backer, right? You're wanting your prices to be accessible to them, but at the same point, you do need to make a profit. The goal isn't to break even, because if you're just breaking even, then you're not actually collecting any money to pay for editing or cover art or any of those things. So how do we price something in a way that is both accessible for someone to pay for, but is also going to make you a profit so that you can pay for the product? Luckily for you, I have a Google Sheet for that. This Google Sheet, which is my Kickstarter tier and stretch goal template, is a part of my Kickstarter workbook. And I have no problem showing it to you if you want to try to recreate it on your own, but I have already set up all of these tiers and all of these formulas for you for ease of access. So to build your tiers, you are going to want to start by including all of the items with the breakdown of the individual prices. So if we're looking at this first sample box right here, it says that in this tier, I have a signed paperback book. Now let's say that it cost me about $9 to print that paperback book, and that cost is going to be different depending on the size of your book and what you're doing with your book. Automatically, I'm going to take that print cost and I'm going to times that by 2. So now instead of $9, it is $18. That is the absolute minimum that this tier is going to have to be. But wait, we're not done. Let's say that I'm also going to add in a sticker, and that sticker costs me $1 to produce. Hopefully it's actually less than that if I'm producing more stickers. Okay, well now I'm at $19. Then I'm going to throw in the ebook. Thankfully, that actually doesn't cost me anything technically to send, but I'm going to sell that on retail for $5. So now $19 plus $5, well now I'm at $24. It's also going to be signed, which I could add on more for that. It's also going to have digital illustrations, which I could add on more for that. And it's going to take up my time, which I should add on more for that. So although I'm at $24 in basically the retail worth, I'm actually going to round that up to $25 because it's going to cost me time. Now, this next column is where I'm going to add in $7 for shipping. Again, shipping is going to be different depending on where you live and what shipping you use, which is going to be another video entirely. But let's say that this tier is going to cost $25 for my backers. And then it's another $7 for shipping. So my backer is paying $32. But how much is it going to cost me to print my book, my stickers, and to ship it? Well, it's going to cost me approximately $17. Here's the thing. All of these numbers are going to be approximates because things change all of the time. With Kickstarter, there is a little bit of risk in never knowing the exact numbers until you go to purchase and to ship. Now, Kickstarter is going to take approximately 10% of your profit. And so you can see that my initial profit
After they have paid the $32, after I have paid the $17 to produce and to ship, and after Kickstarter has taken their $3.20, I have made a profit of $11.80. But there's more to that. You also need to consider what are the taxes for your state. In California, at the least, it is 30%. And as I learned last year, at the most, it's actually more than 40%. So you are going to want to take this number and put in whatever your percentage is to figure out how much you need to set aside to pay for taxes after your campaign. So my initial profit was $11.80. But then I have to put aside $3.54 for taxes, meaning my profit after taxes is $8.26, meaning on a pledge of, what was it? On a pledge of $32, I get to keep $8.26 for a final profit percentage of 25%. This shows us just logically why it's so important to list out all of the items in all of our tiers and to go through these steps of how much is shipping going to cost, how much are these things going to cost you, how much is Kickstarter going to take, how much should you put aside for taxes, to make sure that you're not undercutting yourself and maybe losing money when hopefully the goal is you are making money to cover the costs of your book.
As you are creating your reward levels, that percentage at the end is probably going to be anywhere between 20 and 30% on average. If you can get above 30, that's awesome. If it goes a little below 20, it's probably okay, but ideally it's probably somewhere in that 20 to 30% range. Typically, when most people are running a Kickstarter, it's because they are trying to fund the money to pay for their editing or their cover art. This is why starting with your reward tiers is so important, because you need to make sure that you are actually making some type of profit on these levels so that you are going to be able to pay for the copy edits and the line edits and the proofreading and the cover art down the way. It's going to help you to discover what your funding goal needs to be. And we're going to talk all about funding goal in a later video. I swear, it's going to be like 50 videos. There's just so much to talk about. Like, how on earth do you price your reward tiers? You're probably asking yourself, okay, Kayla, you might know what these things cost. I don't know what they cost. How can I fill out my reward tiers if I don't know how to price out these items? That's the next video. As always, if you found this video helpful, you can help me by liking, saving, and sharing, and of course, commenting below to let me know what questions did you have based on today's video and how can I better help you to be prepared to launch that successful Kickstarter. See you next time.